Life can be so loud sometimes. Phones ring, emails ping, news scrolls endlessly. It feels like a never-ending rush. But what is that something? Many find themselves lost in this noise. Their minds crave quiet. Their souls yearn for a pause. This yearning becomes a guiding light for them, especially in their travel choices. They realize they aren't looking for just another stamp in their passport. They aren't chasing adrenaline-fueled adventures anymore, or ticking off famous landmarks from a long list. Instead, they start seeking something else entirely. They seek solace. They look for places where their minds can finally exhale. Travel becomes their personal quest for inner peace, a journey inward as much as outward. Some places seem to whisper an invitation to stillness. They promise a refuge from the everyday clamor. These are the destinations that call to them now. They might be remote, or they might be small, overlooked corners of the world. Places where time seems to flow a little differently, where nature's rhythm sets the pace. The promise of quiet is a powerful lure. It's a promise of reconnecting with themselves, finding a calm center amidst the storm. This is what they truly crave in their travels. And so, they find themselves planning a trip with a singular, heartfelt purpose: to find peace. The discovery of Hallstatt was almost accidental, like finding a hidden gem. A photograph was stumbled upon online one day. It was a breathtaking image, a tiny village nestled between towering mountains, and a serene, mirror-like lake. It looked like a scene from a forgotten fairy tale. The caption simply read, "Hallstatt, Austria." The name itself sounded like a soft whisper, a gentle invitation. From that moment, a seed was planted. A quiet dream began to grow in the heart. Research on this enchanting place began. Ancient history was uncovered, salt mining traditions stretching back millennia. The unique location was read about, clinging to a narrow strip of land, between the majestic Dachstein Alps and the tranquil Hallstätter Sea. The village seemed almost untouched by time, preserved in its alpine cocoon. The more that was learned, the stronger the pull became. It felt less like choosing a destination, and more like answering a call from those quiet mountains. The decision to go to Hallstatt felt incredibly right. It was an intuitive choice. There was no lengthy debate, no weighing of pros and cons, just a simple, clear knowing. This was the place that needed to be visited. Flights and a small guest house were booked, a guest house overlooking the lake. The ferry glided smoothly across the dark, still water, and then Hallstatt appeared, slowly revealing itself, like a carefully unveiled masterpiece. The iconic view, so often photographed, was even more stunning in person. Pastel-colored houses clustered along the shore. Their reflections shimmered on the lake's surface. The church spire pointed towards the heavens. Majestic mountains formed a protective embrace around it all. It was truly like stepping into a living fairy tale, a dream made real. As one stepped off the ferry, the air itself felt different. It was crisp, clean, and invigorating, carrying the scent of pine and fresh water. The sounds were gentle, almost hushed. The soft lapping of waves against the shore, the distant, melodic chime of church bells, the occasional call of a swan. There were no cars in the village center, only the quiet hum of village life. This absence of traffic noise was a balm to city-weary ears. An immediate, sense of tranquility washed over anyone who visited. The colors of Hallstatt were a feast for the eyes. Soft yellows, warm pinks, and gentle blues of the houses. The deep, verdant green of the surrounding forests. The sparkling azure of the lake under the clear sky. It was as if a painter had carefully chosen each hue to create a scene of perfect harmony. Every detail contributed to the overwhelming beauty and the peaceful atmosphere of the place. Slow travel for them is a conscious choice. It's about resisting the urge to see everything, to do everything. It's about quality over quantity. It means immersing themselves fully in one place, rather than skimming the surface of many. It's about allowing time to unfurl naturally, like a ribbon carried on a gentle breeze. It's about being present in each moment, not constantly thinking about the next thing or the next destination. It is a pathway to deeper connection and deeper peace. Hallstatt is a village that naturally encourages slow travel. Its small size means they can explore it thoroughly, without feeling rushed or overwhelmed. There are no major theme parks or bustling tourist traps. The main attraction is the village itself, its atmosphere, its breathtaking scenery, its unhurried pace of life. This allowed them to simply be, to wander without a map, to sit and observe, to let the rhythm of the village become their own rhythm. This was a profound relief. Their days in Hallstatt settled into a gentle routine. They would wake early, naturally, without the jarring sound of an alarm clock. They'd make a cup of tea and watch the sunrise paint the mountains in soft hues. Then, a leisurely breakfast, followed by a slow walk through the village or along the lake path. Afternoons were for reading or simply sitting on a bench. The favorite time in Hallstatt was the early morning, before the village fully stirred, before the day trippers arrived. A warm drink would be made and taken down to the edge of the lake. The world felt new and pristine then, wrapped in a cloak of profound silence. The air was cool and still, the water often perfectly calm, reflecting the mountains and sky like a flawless mirror. These quiet moments became a sacred ritual, a daily communion with peace. Often, a soft mist would be rising from the lake, swirling gently around the bases of the mountains. It created an ethereal, almost mystical atmosphere, as if the village was still dreaming. Swans, the elegant guardians of Hallstatt, would glide silently across the water, their movements graceful and unhurried. Sometimes a lone fishing boat would drift by, the only sound its oars dipping softly into the lake. It was a scene of perfect, undisturbed serenity, a living painting. The sounds of nature were a gentle symphony, the first tentative chirps of birds greeting the dawn from the surrounding forests, the rustle of leaves in the light breeze that whispered down from the mountain slopes, the distant murmur of a waterfall, barely audible, yet always present. These natural sounds were so different from the harsh man-made noises of city life. They were soothing, calming, and deeply restorative. They filled one with a sense of profound well-being. This deep connection with nature was incredibly healing. It felt like becoming part of the landscape, part of its ancient, timeless rhythm. The grandeur of the mountains, the tranquility of the lake, the resilience of the small village, all of it spoke to something deep within. It reminded of the beauty and peace that exists in the world, if only we take the time to find it. Those mornings by the lake were pure magic. They filled the soul with a quiet, lasting joy. Wandering ancient lanes. Stories etched in stone. Exploring Hallstatt's narrow, winding lanes was a daily delight for the traveler. There are no cars in the village center, so walking is the only way to get around. And what a joy it was for the traveler to meander at their own pace, with no particular destination in mind. Each turn revealed a new vista, a charming house, a hidden courtyard, or a glimpse of the sparkling lake. The cobblestone paths whispered stories of centuries past under the soles of the travelers' shoes. The houses themselves were works of art. Many were centuries old, built in the traditional Alpine style, with wooden balconies and steeply pitched roofs. Flower boxes overflowed with vibrant geraniums and petunias, adding cheerful splashes of color against the weathered wood. It felt as though each house had its own personality, its own unique story to tell. The traveler imagined the generations of families who had lived and loved within those walls, their lives intertwined with the lake and mountains. One afternoon, the traveler visited the Bane House, or Charnel House. It is located in St. Michael's Chapel. This small ossuary holds over 1,000 skulls, many of them intricately painted with names, dates, and symbols. Due to the limited burial space in Hallstatt, graves were periodically reopened, and the skulls exhumed, cleaned, and decorated. It was a unique and poignant reminder of the village's long history and its intimate relationship with life and death. A moment for quiet reflection. Walking through Hallstatt felt like stepping back in time, but not in a museum-like way. The village was alive, vibrant, a living, breathing community, yet it retained a powerful sense of history, of continuity. The traveler felt a connection to the people who had walked these same lanes centuries before. This sense of timelessness was deeply peaceful. It put the traveler's own small worries into perspective. It anchored the traveler in the present moment, while connecting them to the past. Echoes from above. The view from the skywalk. One clear afternoon, the narrator decided to visit the Hallstatt Skywalk. A funicular railway carried them smoothly up the mountainside. The journey itself was beautiful, offering glimpses of the village and lake as they grew smaller below. The gentle ascent was a quiet transition from the intimate charm of the village streets to the vast expanse of the alpine world above. They felt a sense of anticipation for the panoramic views that awaited at the World Heritage View platform. Stepping onto the skywalk platform was breathtaking, literally. The platform extends out over the mountainside, offering an unobscured 360-degree vista. The entire Hallstatter Sea lay spread out before them, a shimmering jewel nestled among the towering peaks. The village of Hallstatt looked like a miniature toy town, clustered by the water's edge. The sheer scale of the landscape was awe-inspiring. It made them feel very small, in the best possible way, humbling and exhilarating at once. From this vantage point, they gained a new perspective, not just visually, but emotionally too. The everyday concerns that often occupy their mind seem to shrink in significance against the backdrop of such immense natural beauty. The mountains stood silent and majestic, as they had for millennia. The lake reflected the endless sky. There was a profound sense of permanence, of nature's enduring power. It was a powerful reminder of what truly matters: peace, beauty, connection. They lingered on the skywalk for a long time, watching the light change across the landscape. Clouds drifted lazily overhead, casting fleeting shadows on the mountains. The air was fresh and cool, carrying the faint scent of pine. There was a quiet hum of appreciation from other visitors, but mostly a sense of shared awe. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated joy, a feeling of being on top of the world, surrounded by beauty and filled with a deep, quiet peace. The taste of tranquility. Simple pleasures, lasting peace. The simple pleasures of Hallstatt extended to its food. Visitors enjoyed fresh fish caught from the lake, often grilled simply with herbs and lemon. It tasted of the clear, clean water itself. Local bakeries offered warm, fragrant bread and delicious pastries, like Apfelstrudel, rich with apples and cinnamon. Meals were not elaborate or fussy, but they were wholesome, satisfying, and made with care. Each bite felt like a taste of the region, a taste of its unhurried way of life. Visitors often enjoyed their meals slowly, at a small cafe with outdoor seating, overlooking the lake, or a quiet square. There was no rush to finish, no pressure to move on. They savored the food and the peaceful atmosphere, observing the locals going about their day. Their interactions seemed unhurried, friendly. There was a sense of community, a warmth that was palpable. These leisurely meals were a form of meditation, a delicious way to practice mindfulness. Beyond the food, there were other small moments of joy. Finding a unique, handcrafted souvenir in a tiny shop, a piece of local salt perhaps, or a small painting of the village. Spending an afternoon reading a book on a bench by the water, with the sun warming their face and the gentle lapping of waves as their soundtrack. These simple, unscheduled activities were the highlights of their days. They were moments of pure contentment, free from any obligation or expectation. These accumulated simple pleasures built a deep well of tranquility within them. It wasn't one grand gesture or one spectacular event that brought peace in Hallstatt. It was the sum of many small, quiet moments, the gentle rhythm of life, the stunning natural beauty, the kindness of the people, the freedom to simply be. This was the true taste of tranquility, a lasting, emotional peace that visitors carried with them long after they left the village. Hallstatt's enduring gift. A sanctuary in memory. Leaving Hallstatt was, of course, bittersweet. Part of the traveler wanted to stay forever in that peaceful, fairy tale bubble, but they knew it was time to go. As the ferry carried them back across the lake, they watched the village recede until it was once again a postcard image nestled against the mountains. They felt a pang of sadness, but also a deep sense of gratitude for the peace they had found there and the peace they were taking with them, stored safely in their heart. Hallstatt stands out in their memory as the most peaceful place they have ever traveled to. It's more than just its undeniable beauty, though that is certainly a huge part of its charm. It's the unique combination of elements: the dramatic alpine setting, the serene lake, the ancient car-free village, the palpable sense of history, and the pervasive atmosphere of tranquility. It all comes together to create a truly special and deeply restorative environment, a place unlike any other. The lessons they learned in Hallstatt have stayed with them. the profound value of slow travel, the importance of consciously seeking out stillness in a world that constantly demands our attention. They learned that true rest is not just about sleeping. It's about allowing the mind to quiet down, to find its own natural rhythm. Hallstatt taught them that peace isn't just a destination, it's a way of being, a state of mind that can be cultivated and carried within us. Even now, years later, Hallstatt remains a touchstone for them, a sanctuary in their memory. When life feels overwhelming or chaotic, they close their eyes and transport themselves back to those misty mornings by the lake, to those quiet walks through ancient lanes. The memory itself brings a sense of calm, a reminder of the peace that is possible. Hallstatt was more than just a beautiful trip. It was a gift of profound, enduring peace. And for that, they will always be grateful.